Welcome back to Bleach. This is episode 13, the finale, I'm pretty sure. The Blade is me. Last time we got the second part of what happened with Masaki. A little bit information on why Ishin is the way that he is. And then Ichigo is pretty much like, okay, I'll be a Soul Reaper again. I feel like there's a little bit more to it than just your can-do attitude. So I'm curious to see where we go this episode, how I have a feeling I know where this ends, but I just like, how does he get there? So yeah, and then oh god. Anyways, I'm out of breath. I had to fight with my dryer. Let's get into the episode and see what happens. But where? Where are you going? Oh, to Soul Society. Okay. Well, who the fuck? What? Is that it? That's all it took, bitch. I don't know. I feel like there's still some more information I need. I don't know how he's like, I'm ready. Oh, is this supposed to happen? Is this allowed? Say white Ichigo? Yep. Again, I feel like we're glossing over some shit. What the fuck just happened? Yes! I Oh my god, bitch. He didn't say to attack yet. He just said to holify. Okay, I was gonna say, is she a lieutenant still, or what's going on? Because I'm in constant pain, but I need to work. Same. I feel that, Akon. Akon? Wonder what he's doing. Oh, what the fuck is that? What the fuck? What are these things? He's making a new Bankai, right? I vaguely remember he has a different Bankai. Why? What else you doing, bitch? Oh. Yes. Damn, we're just like, just quick fire with these shits. They'll find you in the shadows. Just his Asauchi. Oh, what's happening? What is going on? I'm not gonna learn these people's names. I don't know why we need to know them. Who the fuck are you? I don't remember you. Wait a minute. There was only 4 then, right? Now there's a 5th one? Yeah. That's what I was thinking. The hollow is your Zanpakuto? Bro, what is happening? His speech is so, like, poetic. So his hollow is becoming his new Zanpakuto, but his old Zanpakuto, Zangetsu, who is he? Because Zangetsu is Ishin's, so... Yeah, I get it, it's Yuhabaha, but why? How? Is Zangetsu a false name then? It's raining again. It's interesting they changed his voice actor too. Now that it's confirmed it's Yuhabaha. Then who is Zangetsu? Bitch, same. I don't get it either. Yeah, now that you mention it. You'd rather him become a hollow than a soul reaper? Bitch, wait! No! We're not ready. Because, like, okay. Don't destroy the whole place, though. We need... Gotta use this fucking palace still. Sir, does he have a fire type? Everyone's got a fire type. Well, I mean, Zangetsu was a fire type. Tsushida, damn. I had a feeling we were gonna fucking end with this. Oh, no. Oh my god, dude. Don't do this to me. Oh, there's no teaser even, or like a title tease at least. Alright, so a lot of stuff happened. I think I just need to mull it over. I keep, after every time there's like a lore drop or some shit, I'm always like, I don't understand it. But I feel like I just need to like meld, what, I need to like sit in it for a little bit, I think, and let it sort of process or something. I don't know. Like, maybe I don't know. Like, it's either I'm too dumb in the moment, I just need to like process it and work it out on my own, or it's the fact of the show is the source is so dense and cerebral that I need people to explain it to me to like fully comprehend it. It's one of those two. Something's going on here. I do like the fact that Zangetsu is now 2. You know, I think it was kind of, so my OC, you know, I feel like anyone who's watched Bleach has like an OC character. They're like, you know, I'm in squad. For me personally, I'm in squad 3. I had a dual type Zanpakuto, but I remember the show specifically states that the only people who have two, like a dual wielding Zanpakuto. I know in the filler, in one of the filler arcs, I think the 3rd squad captain actually had a dual type, but in canon-wise, I think the only people who had dual types are Kiraku and Jushiro, Ukitake. You know, they're the only 2, and it's like so freaking rare. And it's, you know, it's like for Kiraku, I think it's, no, he has 2 blades, right? He has 2 blades that you know, that exist already. He has like 2 blades that are 1 soul, and then Ukitake has like 1 blade that is 2 souls or something like that. You know, there was like a great symbolic, not great, but like basically I just feel like it was built up that it's so rare and it means something. So when Ichigo has it, you know, I remember, and obviously the opening shows him with the dual type Zanpakuto, so I figure, okay, why does that make sense? What does that mean? You know, is it just because he's protagonist? Like, I want it to be significant. So the good news is I do like what they did with this. You know, that his true Zanpakuto, his true form is dual soul, dual blades, because it's his hollow side and his Quincy side, and they're, you know, it's his power in the swords, it's the spirit of the hollow form, Ichigo, white Ichigo, and Zangetsu, who we now know is the remnant blood, basically, of Yuhabaha, disguising himself as Zangetsu, and so they technically both are Zangetsu. I don't know, like, that part doesn't make sense to me. Like, Soul Reapers are supposed to have a Zanpakuto from their soul, so it's very intriguing that like his Zanpakuto is his other bloodlines, not not even his Soul Reaperness. It's his other parts. So I think it's very intriguing. I don't necessarily know if I like that, but I do like that there's a justification for the fact that there's two swords because one is Quincy, one is Hollow. I'm curious to see what the power is of it. It's shown here to have some sort of firepower. It could just be like an explosion of like pressure and power and force, but I'm assuming it's some sort of fire based Zanpakuto because Zangetsu, his father's Zanpakuto, is fire. And that's the other thing, is like his father, the Shinigami, has the Zangetsu name, but then Zangetsu and the Getsuga Tensho shit is unrelated because it's his Quincy and Hollow side. Nothing to do with the Soul Reaper. So how does that make sense also? Like, that's the part that, like, when you think about it too deep, it just doesn't make sense to me. On a surface level, cool, awesome. It's got the same name and they can both do the same moves and yada yada. But then, like, you think about it and why is it the same name? It's nothing to do with his father. It has to do with his mother, who had the Quincy and the Hollow blood in her. So what the fuck does Isha contribute to this? Like, that's the kind of shit that I'm talking about. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And so because of that, I was just kind of in my head, and it probably shows in the reaction, to be honest. I was kind of glossing over because I'm like, during his discussion in his whatever inside in his soul palace, with the skyscrapers and shit, and talking to glasses, old man, we'll call him old man Zangetsu right now. I was just kind of not, I was taking it in, but like, I know that was supposed to be like a very bittersweet moment, and very revelatory. Yeah, that's the word. But I was just so confused by like the mechanics of it. I think it did, like I said, it explained it enough, and I think that's the thing, is like, if that's all we're gonna get, then I guess it's all we're gonna get. But I just, like I said, if maybe I'm just going too deep with it now. Maybe that's the problem, is I always try and think too much about it. If I just take a step back and just say, okay, this is what the show said. This is what the show said. So yeah. I do think, though, they do need to, like, explain what the fuck's going on with Komamura. I remember that part, and I kind of got excited about it because I remember, like, oh yeah, I remember that happens. The show here just kind of said, hey, hey, clan elder, teach me the secret technique. And then that was it. Like, we don't get any information about what the fuck's going on with this clan. I know a little bit because I remember that was such a fucking out of left field thing to do. And, like, I like that we're still getting this, obviously. But I really hope it's fleshed out a little bit better, because that was very much just like, oh, there's a giant fucking dog in the cave, and he's got some great power apparently, and he knows Komamura. Like, obviously it's a tease, so I get that, but yeah, I don't want to say too much about it yet, just because my information is old, and also I don't want to spoil stuff, so I don't want to like say something that's not true, or just like say something that people will discover later in the show. But I am excited for it. That was kind of my number two. I don't want to say number two favorite thing about this arc. Number one is definitely like Unohana Kenpachi shit going on. But there's some other interesting things still to come. This is just one of those, like, I'm very excited to see what happens with Komamura kind of things. Because I know how his journey goes, and what all happens. I I almost spoiled some more stuff, but I'm excited for what's going on with his plotline right now. I hope it goes more into it, but I wish this episode specifically kind of delved a little bit into it instead of just being like this moral, ethical kind of debate between them. It's like, I don't care about what's going on there. Who are you? What are you trying to teach me? I like that Toshiro is just learning Zanjutsu, sword fighting. Shuhei's Bankai too. Like, I remember that they all kind of hint that Shuhei is one of the stronger lieutenants, probably like top 3. Like, listen, personal feelings aside for everyone, but like, facts is facts. I'm pretty sure Renji is the strongest lieutenant, then Rukia. Well, no, Rukia might actually be stronger than Renji, but they're kind of the top two lieutenants, right? Now that Sasuke is dead. Um, it's kind of like those two, and then I think Shuhei is kind of like supposed to be the third strongest lieutenant. So everyone always hypes him up like, hey, you're strong, right? Um, and the Bankai thing, I hope we get to see it. I've seen it because I every once in a while I used to deep dive into like, hey, what's going on with Bleach? Oh, they're still writing light novels, or I don't really know what those are, to be honest, but they're writing like non-manga stories for the characters. Oh, cool. And then I saw that Hisagi has a Bankai. And so I don't really understand it because I kind of glossed over it, but I am excited to see if they do actually incorporate it here, or is this just kind of a nod to that? I've heard not stories. I've heard rumbling kind of that if Thousand Year Blood War does well, Kubo does want to animate the Hell arc, which I don't know nothing about. I feel like I know, like, the only thing I know about the Hell arc is it has something to do with Xylopero is there. But like I don't know if it's like epilogue stuff, if it's like some sort of between Thousand Year Blood War and epilogue, because I know where epilogue is. I don't even know a timeline of where this Hell arc is supposed to take place, so I don't know nothing about it. But I just heard basically that if Thousand Year Blood War does well, Kubo does want to continue animating more Bleach stuff. So my point in bringing that up is I know that Hisagi is like a main character in this spin-off novel. So I wonder if that's just what we saw here is more like a nod to that, or if he's like, Kubo's more like, well, let's just incorporate some other stuff, and we're just kind of wind in things that maybe we won't get to the other stuff there, but we can incorporate it into the main storyline here. I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited to see it if we do get to see it. I'm not gonna keep my hopes up, but I am excited to see it. I love the return of Mashiro because, like, what is she doing? Same with Lisa. Like all the female advisors, Where's Love? What's he doing? Hachigen, Tessai, fucking the biggest thing that pissed me off. Sorry, the biggest thing that pissed me off about the fight with Aizen is that Tessai is nowhere to be found. Like, obviously, Aizen is stronger than Kido and whatever. He probably couldn't have done much, but like, we have Yoruichi, Urahara, and Ishin all fighting Aizen. Where the fuck was Tessai during all this shit? I think in the manga they explain where he is. He's like doing something, but everyone showed up except for Tessai. What the fuck is he doing? Where is he still? Did he get written out the show? Like, what happened? But yeah, we have characters missing still, so I hope they show up in the future fight here coming up. Uryu joins the Stern Ritters. I hope we get more into the lettering system, delve more into some of these Stern Ritters, because I feel like obviously the first half of this was very focused on that, but then we moved to other things. So we know that there are some, I don't want to say notable, but like prominent, I don't know, like there's more Stern Ritters that survived, obviously, that have shown their face a little bit, and we haven't really learned a lot about them. I'm curious to see if they're going to get the sort of development, like, so far, basically, is what I'm trying to say. They haven't been at the level of the Arankars and Espadas. I feel like the Espada is kind of where they should be at as far as like antagonist level, and like what kind of threat we should be taking them as. But right now, they're just kind of like, yeah, I'm the bitch that fucking has fear darts. Like, okay, but what are your goals? What are your ambitions? Who are you really? Like, yeah, you had a cool fight scene, but like, what do you stand for? What do you get out of this? Like, I want that level of connection to some of these Stern Ritters. It doesn't have to be all of them, obviously, but a couple of them, that have survived and they're going to come back for round 2. I need to sort of get attached to them a little bit, I think. Maybe not attached, but like, I just need to, all we know right now is Yuhabaha. Like, we know the most about him, and he's still enigmatic as fuck. Like, we should know. I feel like we need to know a little bit about the underlings first before we go for the head honcho. Yeah, like I said, I just feel like we need to take a step back, get some of these smaller fights going. I want to learn more about them. I feel like I'm talking in circles at this point. I don't know why I'm talking about the Stern Ritters. What else happened this episode? Not really much, right? Look, I said it before. Ichigo's not my favorite character. I get that it's his show, but like I'm sated, you know. I'm good. We can move on to other characters at this point. You know, I could deal a little bit with Ichigo like discovering his powers a little bit more, but for the most part, I hope that we pick up next time with like what's going on with Chad Norihime and Grimjow in Waco Mundo. You know, how is everyone else preparing? I love that little, like I said, it was just a small part of this episode, but seeing what other characters in Soul Society are doing. What happened with Renji? What the fuck happened to him? Oh, so going back to Ichigo for a second, sorry. When he gets sucked back into the Hoden, is that, I don't remember what it's called. For some reason, I want to think it's Hoden, but that doesn't sound right. That's a Pokemon. But, he's in the pit, and then all the Asauchi just start bound to him. I don't know what the fuck that was about. I wish they kind of like went into that, because it seemed to be not typical by the way that, what's his name? Namaya Oetsu. The way that he was reacting, he was like, this is not normal. So I wanted a little bit of dialogue there, like, what did they doing? I figured it had something to do with Zangetsu on the inside or whatever. Maybe it was just that Ichigo is like, he's calmed the turmoil within himself now that he knows who he is. And so they're all like not hostile because they're comfortable with him and he's comfortable with them. At first, like I said, I thought it was something to do with royalty because I knew prior that somehow old man Zangetsu was Yuhabaha. So I figured it had something to do with that because of the royalty aspect there. But I think what happened was it was just Ichigo had conquered his demons basically. And so he had no quarrel with these Asauchi and just kind of, went about it. But yeah. Like I said, I hope next time we do pick up, I think it's in July, which is going to be a while, but it's not as bad as I thought. I was afraid it's going to be like a whole fucking year, but 6-7 months, that's fine. Oh yeah, and then we got even Kurotsuchi, Mayuri. He's doing something in his lab. Like I said, I think he's like altering his Bankai a little bit. Soyphone's training. Yeah, I just want to like do some stuff with them. Shinji, where the fuck is he at? I know that he's got some stuff going on. What happened with Love? Or not Love. Yes, where's Love? But, what happened with Rose's fight? They made such a big deal about, like, I won't let you kill anybody else. You hurt Azuru, Kira. I said his name? Izulu? Anyways, he was making such a big deal about Kira getting shot. And then, like, we didn't do anything with that fight. So, like, did he kill that Stern Ritter? I think so, because I think that was one of the dudes that ambushed Yamamoto, right? He was one of the three that ambushed Yamamoto. So like, it's either that Stern Ritter killed Rose or they just broke up way somehow. I don't know. Like, again, I just want to like sort of see where everyone's at, what everyone's doing. I could take a break from Ichigo. That took 4 fucking minutes to say that. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's go back to Rukia too. Where's she at? I know that she has some powers hidden up her sleeve. Curious. I want to see that, to be honest. Like, I'm not a Rukia hater, but I do need her to have a moment in the sun and like show why she is such an important character, and like how she got to lieutenant. I need to see her getting some action, and so I want to see her. Yeah, there was some art actually, like in one of the trailers. I'm pretty sure there was some scenes. It's either cut scenes or it's like stuff in the future parts of some of these characters. We have adult Toshiro even. So yeah, very excited for everything to come. I'm gonna go take a nap now. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Well, I'll see you whenever Bleach comes back, if not sooner. Yes. Goodbye. I'm crazy.